Hey, it's Verl Workman, Big V, and we are talking teams. That's right, today we're going to talk about how to create compensation that allows you to be profitable as a team leader. There's so much confusion around how to compensate teams, and a lot of people just think, oh, I'm going to hire someone and I need him so bad right now, I'm just going to put him on a 50-50 split. Well, guess what? It's a bad business model. Here's what I'd like to do. Let's go through an exercise together and let's decide that we're going to go in business. Matter of fact, let's do a retail store. All right, so you be my financial partner and I'll be the person that works in the store. So you put up the money and you sign on the lease and you do all the advertising and you put all the inventory in the store, but me, I'm really great with people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work the cash register. And then anybody that comes in the store, I'm just going to check them out. And then I'll just take 50% off the top. And then out of your 50%, you can pay back your investment, you can pay back your rent, your inventory, your advertise. What, is this not feeling good to you? I mean, it feels great to me because I'm a 50-50 partner in a business that I have no risk in. You see, that's what most team leaders do is they have all the expense and then they bring people in, pay out 50% off the top, and then out of their portion, they end up not making any money at all. How many times have you said to yourself or heard another team leader say, I actually made more money when I was by myself? Well, the reality is that building a team is critical. Matter of fact, I think it's essential. I think everybody should start their team the day they get their license in real estate. But if you're going to do it, you have to be intentional and you have to understand what your job is as a leader. So your job is to create stability and security for the people that you lead. And you can't do that if you're not profitable. And so how do you build a compensation model that allows them to be wildly successful and allows you to be profitable as well? So I'm going to take you through that. I'm going to go through the positions of a team. And before the end of the video, I'm going to give you clarity and I'll give you the exact buyer contract we use in when we hire a buyer's agent with the compensation and the job description spelled out. So should we start? So when do you hire your first person and what's the first hire on a team? I would say that the first person that you hire, and we're going to talk about this in future videos where we get into different team members and different structure, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to keep it very simple. The first hire is what we call a client care coordinator or a CCC. Now, the reason I put client care coordinator in there and not assistant is because I don't think anybody when they were a child dressed up to be somebody's assistant. A client care coordinator, the empowered champion, the person who's in charge of the care and feeding of your most valuable asset, your clients, that's a great role. And as a client care coordinator, this person does everything that does not require a license to do in your business. You see, if you spend any of your day doing $20 or $25 an hour activities, I can never get you to that place where you're making $6,000 or $7,000 an hour in your real estate practice. But it's up to you. The other thing I like to say is that if you're going to spend time away from family, how about we just make it worth it so that we get the highest return on our time spent away from family. Now let's go into the second hire. A client care coordinator, there's different ways to compensate. You can do a per transaction basis. I've seen everything from $250 a transaction to $400 a transaction, and that's someone that can do a transaction coordination for you. Or you can pay them hourly, and you base that on what people are paying in your market, and every market's a little bit different. There's great websites out there for where you can go to find what the general compensation is for different roles in your marketplace. Or you can put them on salary plus a bonus, but I wouldn't create the bonus on everything you do. I would create the bonus up to a certain number of transactions. A good client care coordinator can handle up to 100 transactions. You want to cap the bonus. Maybe you do a salary of $25,000 or $35,000 or $40,000 a year, and then you pay $100 per transaction up to 100 transactions. Once you get to 100, then you're going to separate the client care coordinator into somebody that does marketing and someone that does just transactions. The next compensation package will be buyer's agents and how we compensate a buyer's agent. So this is what it looks like. So a buyer's agent, we're going to pay 40-60. They get 40, you get 60 on the first 2 transactions they do in a month. Then we do 45-55 for deals 3 and 4, and then 50-50 on 5+. Now let me talk about why that's important. I want you as a team leader to be at a 50% gross profit after your cost of sale. So if you start with a 50-50 compensation and then you pay all of the expenses and you pay all the advertising and marketing, what happens is the margin ends up being more like 12 or 14% instead of 50. But when you start at a 40-60 for the first 2 deals, what happens is the agent then Now, as a team leader, you now have 20% in margin to be able to cover the cost of lead generation, client care coordinating, and then maintain your 50% gross profit after the cost of sale. This compensation structure works. So I know, here's what's going through your head right now. You're thinking, well, I would never work for that, or why would anybody do that? Tell me you're not thinking that. Like, go in the comments and tell me, yeah, how do you sell that? Like, do you really want to know how to sell it? Let me tell you how to sell it. You sell it by understanding how to ask this question the exact way I'm going to ask it to you. Are you ready? What's more important to you? The split you're on, or the amount of money you take home to your family? And then just listen. If someone says, oh, I got to make 100% split, then I'm like, great. What can you buy with 100% split? Nada, nothing. But if I want to make sure you make $100,000 on my team, would that be more interesting to you? So what's more important, the amount of money you take home or the split you're on? It's as simple as that. If you overcomplicate the recruiting process or when you're interviewing people, then you're not asking the right questions. People want to make money, and not everybody wants to be a team leader. The reason you wouldn't work for that is because you're wired differently, and that's okay. Because we're all wired differently, we make decisions differently. So I don't compare buyer's agents to me. I look at each individual buyer's agent and I ask myself, how do I help them become the greatest version of themselves? And how do I help them make more money than I ever made before? You see, as a leader, my job is to help them be amazing, not create a job where they serve me. I want you to think of your leadership style and who you want to be. Do you want to be a leader who attracts people so you can have a better life, or do you want to attract people so they can have a better life? For me, it's all about helping other people live well, however they define that, and change what they believe is possible. And by creating a compensation that helps somebody make $100,000 a year, it just works. So let me give you an example. This is just simple. Okay, in the previous video, we talked about how to structure a team and build $1 million team. In this one, let me show you how to help an agent make $100,000. So you take the same agent on a 40-60 split. The minimum level of acceptable performance is 2 deals a month. If they do 2 deals a month, that's 24 transactions a year. If we use the $10,000 commission, they're on a 40% split. They made $4,000 times 24 transactions. Anybody want to do the math on that? What's 4 times 25 is 100. Basically, it's $98,000 just doing the minimum to stay on my team. So I don't know, you want to make 100 grand or you want to make 100% split? Doesn't matter to me. I think that most people want to take money home. When you help somebody make 100 grand, they're making like 3 times the average agent in the country. There's this mass turnover of real estate agents that get into real estate and then they don't renew their license. You know why? Because they didn't make any money. The best trainer of real estate is the game. And if you can get them onto a team and you can teach them how to be successful and they make money, they'll stay in the business. So let's really quick go into listing partners. How do you pay a listing partner? Now this one's crazy because I know what you're thinking. Well, listings, you got to pay more because that's more valuable. No, listing partners cost you more money because when you list the home, now you've got to pay for photography, you've got to do drone, you've got to do virtual tours, you got to do floor plans, you're going to do staging. The longer the property's on the market, the longer it costs you to hold it. So you got to have more room to work with. So we pay listing partners, a listing partner, between 25 and 35%. A good listing partner should be able to do in the neighborhood of 60 to 85 listings a year. And you can simply break that down and do the math on that, and you'll find exactly that they're going to make over $100,000. We have listing partners that make $200,000 a year on this split. So once again, the question is, what's more important to you? The split you're on or the amount of money you take home to your family? The key in doing a program like this is not just to understand the compensation, but to explain it during the interview process. We've created a buyer agency agreement, which is a contract between you and the buyer's agent that breaks down all of their things that they need to do to be on the team. It also breaks down the compensation program in detail on how the 40-60 works and how it resets every month, and both of you sign it before they come on board. A few things that might live on there that you might have downloaded from the previous session is like the 10 things to be on my team, where it talks about they have to come in for a daily huddle, they have to do their daily success habits. In this download, you're going to be able to get the actual contract we use with buyer's agents. So take a second right now and just go to the bottom, click on the link, and download the Verl Workman Success Buyer Agent Agreement. It'll be in a form that you can just go in and edit and make it yours. I'm not giving legal advice, so if you want to run it by your attorney, I think that's a great idea to make sure you have a contract that really works for you. But it all starts with compensation. So get the right compensation in place. Remember, I want you to be at a 50% adjusted gross profit after your cost of sale. So you can't start at 50-50. If you do it the right way, you'll end up with the right compensation, and you'll do the thing that we talked about in the beginning, and that is create stability and security for the people that you lead. Have a great time building your team. This is just one step.